All right, take two. We're doing a second take of this because my apartment people decided to start making a bunch of noise right outside my window. This is the RXFL Conference Championship, the Red League Championship. Trophy on the line. Oh, we're getting a different animation. So you got, there it is. There's the trophy. They're fighting over that one right there to see who will go to Ultra Bowl 3, which we are going to stream later this afternoon. We are streaming with you here on a Monday. I got PTO time from work, so we're going to be doing a lot more morning, afternoon streams where we normally do night streams. So make sure you adjust your schedule accordingly to join us live, or make sure you watch the on-demand here on YouTube. The Salt Lake City Fury hitting the road, the top two seeds. It is all chalk in the Red League, where in the Blue League it was all chaos. The number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed, Columbus Aviators versus the Salt Lake City Fury. If you guys tuned into the Blue League Conference Championship yesterday, guys, what an insane game. The Sacramento Rumble are headed on to Ultra Bowl 3. They have finally gotten there. Of all the years, from the Sacramento Spiders of the SFL almost 20 seasons ago, all the way to the Sacramento Rumble. Finally, Sacramento is headed to the championship, and it was an insane game. We're going to do a deep dive going into that one for our Patreons, but you know what? I might throw it up here. I might see how it does. I might throw it up on the channel and see how that does. A little championship preview. We'll do more of a deep dive as we get close to that. But if you guys did not see that game, Sacramento has had the most insane run of playoff games. They had yet another game end in overtime, and yet another game end by stopping a 2-point conversion. They've had 3 games. They've hosted all the playoff games, but they've had 3 games where they've either had to come from behind, they had 2 games where they had to win in overtime, and they had 2 games where they had to stop a game-winning 2-point conversion for them to win the game. The Sacramento Rumble advanced to the Ultra Bowl. Now, who will they meet? We are down to the Salt Lake City Fury, led by Bart Starr, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and the Columbus Aviators, led by 4-time Super Bowl champion Joe Montana. So Joe Montana, Bart Starr, legends of a different, I mean, this is the 70s versus the 80s of a bygone era, and they got Justin Herbert waiting for them in the championship. The backup quarterback, Otto Graham, on a late hit that was flagged in that Blue League championship game, forced the backup quarterback into action. He's won 2 playoff games, and he's likely going to be starting in the Ultra Bowl coming up. But today is the Red Championship game, and as I said, today we are going to do the Ultra Bowl as Bart Starr and Jeremy Shockey, who's had a great playoff run thus far. We're going to be streaming both with you here today, and then we are going to say goodbye to Madden 25, and thank goodness I can finally stop going into the settings and having to turn my internet off to get both logos to appear on the scoreboard, something they never fixed or patched. Kind of forced us to buy Madden 26, so we didn't have to deal with that. So I no longer have to start every edition of Madden 25 by turning off the internet to get the logos in. My goodness, if you can hear the noise outside, apartment people are making a lot of noise cleaning up. Doing all that good stuff. But we're going to stream this one for you. I'm going to take a little break for lunch. I'll come back. I'm going to do a championship game preview in the afternoon. I think, you know what, I'll throw it up here on the channel. I'll stream it live on the channel to see what the numbers are. And then we will do the Ultra Bowl later on this afternoon. And then we will say goodbye to Madden 25. Let's see what happens on this 3rd down. I'll tell you the rest of the game plan later this week. Star. Nobody is watching Shockey and the Salt Lake City Fury opening drive, hoping to make it back to an Ultra Bowl. They were in the RFL Championship, which was called the Revolution Bowl, the first 2 years when we played on All Pro Football 2K8. And it was Joe Montana, who was the quarterback of Salt Lake City both of those years, leading them to those championship game appearances, winning in Season 1 against the San Antonio Dragons, losing in Season 2 to the Huntington Beach Killer Whales, which are now in San Diego as the San Diego Killer Whales, but they did not make the playoffs. And the Killer Whales kind of been the team of the RFL, winning back-to-back championships. Warren Moon, Barry Sanders in Season 2 and Season 3. And they've pretty much been in the championship or in the playoffs every single year in the RFL. And then they sold the team to KISS, to Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley. They moved them out to Los Angeles, the LA KISS, for 2 years. And then they moved to Las Vegas, to the Vegas KISS. And then they sold the naming rights of the Killer Whales to the expansion franchise in San Diego to bring back the famous name, the colors. They already had similar colors to the uniforms they wear now. The neon green and blue, and there you go. But neither here nor there. This is the Red League Championship. So planning today, this championship game, go on break for lunch, come back, we'll do a championship game preview, and then we will do Ultra Bowl 3 today, this afternoon. And then we'll say goodbye to Madden 25. I will uninstall it. It will be gone. Madden 25 will be toast. So Madden 26 going forward. The plan on Tuesday will be for our Patreons. Patreon.com/TBSports27. Again, Patreon.com/TBSports27 is to do the Season 4 Madden 26 draft of the RXFL. So we got a couple teams relocating, some different nicknames. But we're going to be using a different Legends roster that the guy that I think has made the Legends roster for years has said on Reddit that this is going to be his last year doing it. It just takes so much work. So God bless him. So we might be on Madden 26 for a while unless somebody else comes along and makes a comparable comparable Legends roster. So we'll do the Madden 26 draft. That will be for our Patreon members. And then we might do a preview as well, preview everyone. And then after that, it's kind of open up to what you guys want to see. Friday, I will not be streaming, but I'll hopefully be streaming every day this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and then possibly Tuesday. But Tuesday, a main focus is going to be on Patreon. And then it's up to you guys. But you guys want to see SummerSlam on the channel? We might try to get to SummerSlam. We got NXT left and the SmackDown anniversary show before we head to a 2-night SummerSlam. So maybe we do some WWE stuff, and then we can really do a get deep dive here into Madden 26, which would be the Bucks franchise. It would be this series here, the RXFL, and college football. I mentioned one, try to get back to baseball at some point in time. I did hockey on the channel for a time, but the viewership for hockey was absolutely awful. Like, it about killed this channel. Hockey was single-digit viewership, which is why I have not done hockey in a while. And I did a Patreon only, the XHL, which was just a no-rules league, kind of just having fun. We ended up not even making the playoffs. The team was so bad, and I haven't really done hockey since then. But let me know. I'm always open in the comments. And, of course, for our patrons, let me know what you guys want to see on the channel. It's been a while since I've done a free play as well. Look at Joe Montana open as Brandon Ayuk, and we might have what we saw in the last Salt Lake City game, which is pretty much a QB duel going back and forth, because it seems like this Salt Lake City offense is pretty good, but the defense hadn't been too great at stopping people, at least in the last playoff game here.
Their opponent kind of march down the field and score on the opening possession, and they're able now to go out and square it on up. Allows you to take a deep breath, maybe get a little confidence for your defense to go out and get a stop, and they come away with this extra point. We got ourselves a
so Montana will answer. Extra point good. We got ourselves a 7-7 tie here.
The Aviators come right back to tie it at 7. Each team one possession, each team a score. 7-7 as they kick it off. Very good kickoff. Returnable from the 4. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line.
And the legend Bart Starr would love to get back. People, you know, he's been here and they're like, hey, you were great, but it was a different era. You couldn't compete with today. Well, Bart Starr here to prove it. Made his first appearance in the RFL. Late on, it was with the Tampa Bay Vipers. Ooh. Had a pretty good year there, and then had a rather unsuccessful 2 years with the San Antonio Dragons. Come in here to Salt Lake City in Season 3, and what a run it's been for him. Look at Derrick Henry just knocking guys around. You kidding me?
I think this second down call, Mike, they were hoping that at worst they had themselves set up for a third down and short. But there's no need for
and it's going to be a one and done unless in the draft they decide to bring Bart Starr back or someone else might take him. But it was Roger Staubach for a couple years with Salt Lake City when we first switched over to Madden. And like I said, the 2 years with Starr and San Antonio, coming here for a year, and it's been a very successful year and a return to glory for the Salt Lake City Fury, who had been struggling. Oh, and that's going to be picked off by Fitzpatrick. And a huge mistake from Bart Starr, as Fitzpatrick snuck up on him, took it away. Wasn't even any pressure either. Starr just threw that one right into triple coverage, and Fitzpatrick was there. And a huge opportunity for Joe Montana. In a game that we said may be a quarterback duel, we saw the Blue League Championship go to overtime. It came down to a 2-point conversion. Jim Kelly sacked, and the three-peat of conference championships will not happen, as the Sacramento Rumble, well, I don't think a lot of people had in the league championship, a 4 seed. They are a division champ, but look at Montana. We've seen Montana scramble a little bit more often the last couple games, especially here in the playoffs. It's all on the line for Joe Montana right now.
What we saw here, the pass rush disrupted this play from the very start. The quarterback has all of his attention on the rushers rather than his...
Jones could not get the first, so how about the stop?
Mike, I don't really even think this is much of a conversation. On the plus side of the 50, I think you've got a
57-yard field goal. You want to come away with points off of that turnover. Obviously, they were looking for a touchdown. That should be a perfect kick. And it is from 57 in the Aviators. They are on top 10-7 here. The number 1 seed. And we mentioned Salt Lake City's return to form. It is for Joe Montana as well. We mentioned these two being linked together as Joe Montana, quarterback of the Salt Lake City Fury, all 5 years in the RFL. That was when they were in the purple and gold on All Pro Football 2K8, and going to the first league championship and winning, going to the second league championship and falling just short in a very close game with Huntington Beach, and then missing the playoffs for the next 3 years. That led to the exit of Montana coming here to Columbus, and for Joe Montana as well, this is the first run for Columbus into the postseason. So it had been 5 years and people questioning Joe Montana. Like, hey, you know, as expected, you win your 5th championship, your 5th pro football championship, your first year with the Fury. And then he goes 5 years without a playoff run. And then here he is with the number 1 seed with Columbus. On that other alternative, Salt Lake City going to the first 2 league championships, 3 years of nothing with Joe Montana. 2 years in the RXFL with Roger Staubach, didn't make the playoffs, and then here returning to form. So for both these teams, for Joe Montana and for the Salt Lake City Fury, it has been a 5-season wait to get back to this time, and they're both peaking at the same time, and one's going on to the championship, and it's going to be heartbreak for the others. Beautiful pass, a Starr trying to shake off the interception. And if you've been following us from way back in those days, the RFL days, All Pro Football 2K8, I know I didn't save all the archive stuff back then. We were just doing Twitch streams back then, but we've been doing this a long time, and kind of merged it with the original league, our SFL, that we were doing even way before that. And it's going to keep on going into Madden 26. Kind of combining, you know, when I first started doing it, it was just using the roster. It started on 2K5, ESPN 2K5 back in the day, and we just used the players that were there. And then switched over to college football for a bit, and then eventually Madden before going to 2K8. And it was 2K8 was the first time I started using the Legends. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun to use the legendary players, and that developed into moving it over to Madden here and kind of using their relocation teams, but using some of the NFL teams' uniforms. As you can see, obviously, we're using the Chargers for the Salt Lake City Fury, but we're kind of using the navy and gold, where the Chargers use powder blue and gold these days. So we kind of play around with it. And in 26, there's going to be some different options as well for the Chargers, because they got the new navy alternates. Although it's going to be a little different because they have uniforms locked now. You can't just like mix and match any helmet, jersey, pants that you want in Madden 26. Certain uniforms are locked, and apparently they did that so the field designs would be a certain way. But I don't know, I feel like one way you can get around that is just let people pick whatever field design they want. Like, why do you have to lock it behind a uniform? But that's something we'll have to play around with when we get to 26, as there may not be as many uniform combinations, because they're locked in Madden 26. Is Derrick Henry. Already 11 carries early on in the second here. He's the workhorse, but I'd say usually 20-25 carries for a running back. He's already at 11. This will be number 12. Oh, and he gets stuffed at the goal line. Oh my God, I'm so ready to get off of this, man. That glitch. I had to burn a timeout because we would have been stuck. It's a glitch where they line up right after the play. It hurry up, lines you up in a either fake spike or spike formation, and there's no way to audible out of it unless you waste the timeout. Bart Starr will take it in, and it is a QB sneak touchdown, throwing back to the 1960s. And it's looking like the Broncos-Packers from yesterday, where the scores change in every other possession. How about that? How about the Broncos? 12-2, my Broncos. My Cardinals not doing as good. The complete opposite record as the Broncos. 14-10 Salt Lake City over Columbus. The Red League Conference Championship. First appearance for both of these teams. Last year, Austin and London in the Red League Championship. 2 seasons ago, it was Sacramento, who's in the Ultrabowl, and Toronto in the Red League Championship. Now Sacramento representing the Blue League, switching conferences. And another first-time matchup in the Red League Conference Championship.
You never want to lose yards on first down, but that's exactly the case here.
Play fake, Montana delivers. It was an absolute heartbreaker. We talk about these guys being here for the first time. Sacramento, that was their second conference championship, the third in a row for Jim Kelly and the St. Louis Rhinos. Coming down to a 2-point conversion in overtime. Deciding to go for the win, didn't want to give. Wide open is Brandon Ayuk. Holy smokes. Didn't want to give the ball back to Sacramento. So with a dominant offense like they have, the St. Louis Rhinos decide to go for it. For the second time in the postseason, we saw the Monarchs do the same against the Rumble, and it was the same outcome. No good on the 2-point play. And it's going to be the decision everyone talks about. You go for the extra point, then all of a sudden you move into sudden death, but the Rumble get the ball back and have the opportunity to go down and kick a field goal, or you're 2 yards away and you take a shot. It was well covered by the Rumble, and Jim Kelly ended up taking a sack on that play. And that's how the season ended, and the chance at a three-peat, not to win 3 titles in a row, but a chance to win 3 conference championships in a row. That came to an end in Sacramento. 3rd and 3. Ooh, Brandon Ayuk got hit hard, but still hangs on to it. Ultrabowl 3 for the Mora Trophy. The NFL's the Lombardi Trophy. We have the Mora Trophy. Not after the Jim Mora you guys all know from UConn, but his father. Playoffs, one of my favorite soundbite coaches in the history of pro football. Not only named after the great Jim Mora because of his great soundbites, but because as someone of alternate NFL leagues, he's one of the greatest before the recent... Oh my... We're going to get back to the trophy history in a second. A goal line fumble. We got to get an angle on this. Frank Gore and Clay Matthews recovered. You cannot, I guess, turnovers cannot be challenged. They must have looked in the booth and upheld it. What a blow for Columbus. The goal line fumble. Oh my goodness. All right, getting back to the trophy. Yes, the Mora Trophy. Before the recent run of the Birmingham Stallions in the USFL and now the UFL, where they won the title 3 in a row, the original GOAT of non-NFL football leagues was Jim Mora. He won 2 USFL championships in his day, and he was the all-time alternative coach. Of course, you got the other legends. You got Steve Spurrier with the Orlando Apollos. I consider them the champions of the AAF, even though they didn't have a league championship. Al Luganville of the XFL, of course. It was a Jim Fossil that finally won his titles with the Las Vegas Locomotives in the original UFL. But Jim Mora, the original, the first one to win 2 in a row. And he did in the USFL. Like I said, that has since been obviously broken by the fantastic run that the Birmingham Stallions had been on. But for the OG, for the original, just like they named the Lombardi Trophy after Vince Lombardi because he won the first 2 Super Bowls, Jim Mora winning the first 2. I don't remember if it was the first 2. I know he won 2 of them. I'll have to look it up. But winning 2 USFL championships, much like the Lombardi Trophy, you got to name the trophy after him, the Mora Trophy. He's 90 years old, still on TV, still doing stuff with the local news. Yeah, 2-time USFL champion, 84 and 85. So, they named the Super Bowl trophy after Vince Lombardi. for 2 Super Bowls. We name it after Jim Mora for 2 USFL titles. Well, that was a heck of a stand for the Aviators. Obviously, they are bummed they did not get the 7 points, but all things considered, the defense held and did not allow that situation to get any worse, and you're going to give Joe Montana the ball back with 46 seconds, 2 timeouts here. The ageless wonder, Frank Gore, just 24 yards on the ground today. Any injuries? Let's look at any injuries, because injuries are a big thing coming up with. They got a couple. Yeah, that's right. Cooper Kupp, that was the big one. Cooper Kupp being injured and being out. You got Wynn and Jair Alexander out. Nobody on the Fury side. Again, apologize if you can hear what sounds like a vacuum going. The apartment people are blowing the leaves. I don't know, doing something, but making a lot of noise. That's why I originally stopped. If you guys tuned in at the very beginning of this, I did it for about a minute, and then I stopped it because I was like, what is all that noise? And realized what they were doing. And I was like, well, we got to power through. So if you're hearing all that, I apologize, but that's the joys of apartment living, I suppose.
These last couple plays, first down sack, second down big play attempt, falls incomplete.
Wait, 3rd and 19, it was a disaster for the Aviators.
Pin their ears back and try to get after the quarterback.
This time they stay on the ground.
Now you see Jim Harbaugh,
Final timeout.
the Salt Lake City Fury. Again, he came in, turned this thing around. And kind of a tough play call for the Aviators. You almost bank it on your defense here. Because with 3rd and 20, you're kind of throwing the ball in no man's land, risking an interception, having to throw that far. So you run it, get them to at least use their timeout, and hope you can get the clock to run out on them. Where the Fury are going to try to get into field goal range here. I don't think Cook's going to get out of bounds. He is not. So they got to spike this one.
That's a first down completion of 7 yards.
Oh my God, the game, what the heck? Oh! How do you do a spike in this game? I hit square.
These are the plays that when you
The game did a fake spike. He throws it up, and a field goal turned into a touchdown on one of the most wild scenarios that would happen when you're in field goal range, and to take a shot 50 yards away like that. That was not planned.
And the kick is good. So what a finish to this first half as they extend the lead.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. Which one of these two clubs is going to be Super Bowl bound? We'll find out in just a little bit. We'll start out west in the capital city of Sacramento, California, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline.
We can't see the scoreline. I'm still shocked over what happened. Madden 25, how to spike the ball. Hold the circle button. So square must be a fake spike.
So that means we're just about set for the second half. And to bring it your way, we go back out to Mike.
Wow. Well, okay. I thought it was square. And again, whether Bart Starr did that on his own, that's going to be the Sean Payton play. People talk about the guts of Sean Payton doing the onside kick in the Super Bowl to begin the second half when it was still a tight game. People are going to talk about Salt Lake City, and if they end up winning this thing, people are they're going to be talking about Salt Lake City, the gutsy fake spike 50 yards away to give up a field goal opportunity and throw the ball down the field and for it to be successful. Yeah, that was just an excellent throw from Montana.
long to get now to their opponent's side of the field. I like the idea of starting this drive with some explosive pass plays. That's going to open everything up, both underneath in the passing game and on the ground. So big play to get this drive off to a fast start.
1st and 10.
Back to the ground game. It has been a struggle with the ground game. Who else do they have? Has it been Frank Gore the whole time? Yeah, it has Frank Gore, Aaron Jones, Chuba Hubbard, Henry Pearson. Good night. It might have to be Montana's arm that wins it for you here. And as we go into the redraft, the Madden 26, and the reason we're doing a redraft, we kind of did that in All Pro Football 2K8. We did 4 seasons, and then we kind of did a 3-4 round draft where you could steal a player from another team for season 5. When we moved from Madden 20 to Madden 25, I went through and I mostly, like the main players, I went in and made sure they were all on the correct teams going into this game, but it took a long time. So with it going into a 4th year new game, I'm just saying redraft, and the redraft's going to be interesting because we may still do that. Like obviously, maybe if Justin Herbert wins a championship, and there's an answer back, a much needed answer for Columbus, maybe we figure out a way to get Justin Herbert on Sacramento. We might still do some stuff to get some of the main guys on the teams they're used to, but for the most part, it's going to be a complete redraft. Again, you can tune into it, patreon.com/TBSports27, patreon.com/TBSports27. It might be chaos, because I don't know how the draft works in Madden 26. I know that there was a massive glitch in Madden 25 with the clock not working. So it could be complete chaos, us doing this redraft as well. But you want to tune in on Patreon. We're also going to do a deep dive. Montana. Oh my goodness, what moves by Montana rolling out like that. Njoku makes the catch, and we're right back to a 3-point game on that opening drive. So we're going to do the draft, and we're going to do a deep dive onto all the rosters to see who the big names are, the big players. And you can tune into our Patreon page again this Tuesday, tomorrow, patreon.com/TVSports27 for those Patreon videos and the look at Season 4 of the RXFL.
A very big performance from the quarterback position, instrumental in leading and executing, and now trying to finish strong and take his team to the finish line.
I really hope you guys can't hear this vacuum cleaner. It's so noisy. Conference championship here, the Red League. Again, I'm open to names. If you have better names for the Red League and the Blue League, let me know in the comments. Come up with some conference names for me, but maybe I should ask Grok. Let's see what Grok says. Let's ask AI. Give me conference championship names instead of AFC and NFC. I don't know. Is that a good? Grok's under heavy usage right now. Oh my goodness. People are grokking like crazy. Star just goes to Derrick Henry. And at this point in the game,
the ability to generate explosive plays is the greatest correlation with the ability to score points. So every defense nowadays is trying to say, cannot let them throw the ball over our head.
All right, Grok's pumping out some answers. I said, give me some alternative conference championship names instead of AFC or NFC. The Lamar Hunt Bowl, the Hunt Trophy Showdown, the Legacy Game, the Chiefs Invitational. Good Lord. The QB Gauntlet.
They'll come up here, 1st and 10. They'll look to throw.
Starr tried to run it. He gets sacked by Reddick.
He goes, they got him. That's Hassan Reddick getting in there to bring him down.
I'm asking Grok again, what about just the Crown Clash, the Crown Division, the qualifier? Yeah, none of these are kind of, I don't really know a good way to phrase the question either. The Sunbelt Showdown, the Coastal Crown, the Heartland Battle, the Empire Clash, the Empire Conference.
A bigger and bigger role. And listen, I know I'm biased, but if you want to have a good passing game, you better have a good tight end.
Throwing now on 1st and 10.
Meanwhile, Bart Starr's just shredding up this Aviators defense as we got another tight one. The Fireworks Final, the Explosion Bowl, the Star Showcase. I mean, this is the Legends League, so maybe the Star Conference, the Neon Lights Clash, the Frenzy Bowl, the Trench Warfare, the Blue Collar Brawl, Ground and Pound, Grit and Glory, the Grit Division, the Glory. Remember the Big Ten, the Legends and the Leaders? Give me something like that. We're just going red and blue right now, but give me something crazy like Legends and Leaders. I gotta listen real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna listen to this stream and see if you can hear this vacuum going that they're blasting outside. Give me a sec.
Get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible, and sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. But really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
They'll run it on 1st down with Henry. Open space inside the 10. And he's going to take this.
Well, while I was listening, I let the computer take over, and Derrick Henry just busted through for another touchdown. It doesn't sound like you can hear anything, so that's good. Because it's like, I don't know, some leaf blower, some blower, they're outside just running this thing for the last however long we've been streaming, 40, 50 minutes. Derrick Henry bulldozed through 3 guys. Did you see that?
When to hit the hole as much as what hole to hit. And I think you get a great example.
Salt Lake City. Of course, we are going to recap the playoffs as well on our championship game preview right after lunch break. So you're going to look at what's been going on where the Sacramento Rumble have been winning by overtimes and 2-point conversion stops, where it's been kind of dominating. And going into that Blue League championship, it was the St. Louis Rhinos who had blown out their opponents by 30, 40 points. Not a bad day so far for Montana. They had blown out everybody where Sacramento was barely winning. But then in the end, it ended up being the team that was barely winning that beat the team that was blowing everyone out. Salt Lake City was in a tight shootout in the divisional round. And the Aviators coming off of their bye week here. So of all the teams in the mix, they're the most well-rested, but they got to make up 10 points here.
You can see here why. You make the defense have to honor both the run and the pass, and he's able to pick up a nice game to his team.
And Frank Gore has not been able to get out of the gates here. Clay Matthews right there with the stop. And you're going to look back at that 7 points. The big swings in this game, why the score is the way it is. Oh my God, Njoku is left wide open there. The big swing is the fumble at the goal line, which took 7 points off the board for Columbus. And then the fake spike, which gave an additional 4 points to Salt Lake City. Right? That's an 11-point difference, and look at the score right now. It's a 10-point game. So imagine you give Columbus another 7 points. Let's say they don't go for 2. You go give them another 7. They're at 24. and you take the 4 points away from the fake spike, and Salt Lake City just did a field goal at the end of the half, we're tied right now. And it's been an evenly matched game, but the difference is the goal line fumble and the fake spike.
Some of the best safeties that we have seen in the last couple generations, like Troy Polamalu, Earl Thomas, they kind of reestablished that
3rd and 5.
You can't really predict where they're going to be pre or
Montana completes it to Ayuk.
coaches understand they might give up a play or two here or there, but overall they're going to make a lot of game-changing plays.
Joe Montana and Bart Starr.
Set to go now on 1st and 10.
You're getting to see two of the best. The 60s and 70s and the 80s clashing right now, and it is a touchdown for the Aviators.
Touchdown, Aviators.
Well, it seems this game is kind of getting to the point, Mike, where it's defense optional. I mean, both these teams are really just having their way with their opponent. They're going up and down the field, and after this long touchdown, yes, this is great if you're a fantasy player, but it's not so great if you're a defensive coordinator.
Now it's York for the PAT. It's up and through. The Aviators are back within a field goal. The lead is 3. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. The Chargers offense and Derrick Henry heading onto the field. They lead by a field goal as they go to work with a 1st and 10. Right away,
Oh, they were looking to dump the ball off to Derrick Henry, and that is a huge sack.
Defense came out in a soft zone, and I think it caught the quarterback a little off guard. He was trying to attack them downfield. By the time he was able to get through his progression to his check down, he ran out of time, and that's all the pass rush needed to get to the backfield and bring it down.
Well, Derrick Henry, I mean, normally 2nd and 19, you wouldn't go to the ground game, but the way he's been running today, you get most of those yards back and it turns into a 3rd and reasonable as we head to quarter number 4, everybody.
1 quarter remains here in the AFC Championship game. This is the NFL playoffs on EA Sports. This crowd into it now as we get to 3rd down.
Third and 6. Starr is going to run it. He sheds a sack and runs through Darius Slay, who eventually gets him. Well, you had Derrick Henry there, and you're wondering if Bart Starr is going to dump it off to Derrick Henry. Mike McDaniel beside himself on the sideline. His defense couldn't come up with that stop. It is a 3-point game in this 4th quarter. And I know he's up to 18 carries. I'm just giving the ball to Derrick Henry. I'm saying you got to stop this guy the rest of the way. Oh, they tried to get cute. Go away from Derrick Henry. See if they can fool him. It did not work. star loses the football. And that was a disaster of a drive for the Salt Lake City Fury, and the Aviators, with this hometown crowd getting pumped, is going to get the ball back.
You are going to catch an earful. They stress all week, ball carriers. We have to protect the ball. In this case, it doesn't result in a turnover, but the lost yardage now brings up 4th down. These are drive killers.
The home team's offense back onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10.
Well, this is going to end up being a pretty significant drive for the Aviators. Stay on this ground game with Frank Gore. Gets a decent amount.
Here's a 2nd and 6.
First down for Osborne.
And they'll have it across midfield down at the opposing 46-yard line.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played?
Big opening for Gore.
That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late.
And a successful drive. Good moment so far for the Aviators. Montana. And he is going to run again. We've been seeing that. Ooh, that could have been a flag. We haven't seen too many of these thrown for the late hits out of bounds.
When you find yourself trailing here late in the game,
Columbus, though, or I should say Montana, we've seen a couple of these scrambles as of late from the quarterback. Not something he usually does, but playing in this new era. Montana, Jimmy Smith, and he just I don't think you can say that the amount of times on one hand you can say that about Joe Montana. He had a wide open Jimmy Smith and he overthrew him, which would have given the Aviators the lead. When are you ever going to see Joe Montana overthrow somebody or miss the mark? Not often at all. We saw it right there. They are in field goal range. You got to be careful. We saw Justin Herbert yesterday throw the interception down in the red zone. When Montana... Fumble is picked up by the Fury. Was the arm going forward? Hines Allen with the play of the game so far. No, that arm was not going forward. And that's twice that the Aviators have been in scoring range and have come away with 0 points. The Frank Gore fumble and the Joe Montana fumble. And with around 6 minutes to go in the game, I think the ball's going into that man's arms. And it's going to be the Aviators. Hey, come up with a stop here. And again, the difference in this 5 minutes, the 3 points, is the fake spike touchdown and the fumble at the goal line. In what has been an evenly matched game between both these teams. But the mistakes of the Columbus Aviators, the 2 fumbles are absolutely huge. Well, like we said, the fake spike, that's going to be their Sean Payton play. The fake spike. Who made the call? Was that Bart Starr? Was that Jim Harbaugh? Maybe the thought was on the fake spike. Obviously, I know what happened. I'm trying to play it up for the people, you know. Obviously, the wrong button was hit, but maybe they were thinking. Maybe Harbaugh was thinking, hey, we have time to do this fake spike. It can still fall incomplete, and we can still get a field goal off. Either way, that is going to be the difference so far, and with them not being able to stop Derrick Henry, the great Derrick Henry may finally get to play in his first championship game. And at some point, the Aviators got to start taking some timeouts here. It would be a return to the title game for Bart Starr. Blown tackles everywhere, and Derrick Henry has another first down. Darius Slay cannot believe it, and I'm not giving the ball to anybody else in this situation if I'm Jim Harbaugh except Derrick Henry. We are 2 minutes away. It would be a return to the Super Bowl. The Ultra Bowl, the Super Bowl, the championship for Bart Starr for the first time in 60 years. It would be a return to the championship for the first time in 5 years for the Salt Lake City Fury. And they have a 3rd and 1. And here's the thing, you know what they're going to do. It's going to be a run to Derrick Henry every time. The fact that on every single play, you knew what they were going to do and they've not been able to stop them tells you how dominant Derrick Henry is. They are not going to get cute. They are going to run it. Oh, he went backwards, but that should do it, as Mike McDaniel talking things over with the defensive coordinator, saying we knew what they were going to do. Bart Starr will come out to take a knee. And after some unsuccessful early seasons, he comes in 1 year to Salt Lake City. And they are moments away from the Fury finally returning to a league championship. They give it to Henry one more time, and that is going to do it, folks. The Salt Lake City Fury are going back for the 3rd time in 7 years. They're heading back to the league championship. 3rd time in 8 years, I guess I should say.
So it's a win for the visiting Chargers. And they will celebrate a conference championship. They're off to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time as they look to claim the franchise's first ever Lombardi trophy.
Well, that's not true. In our world, this is going to be their 3rd chance to compete for a league title in 8 years.
So we'll see you in 2 weeks in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59.
So we now know it's going to be West Coast time. Salt Lake City and Sacramento. The Fury and the Rumble for the RXFL Championship. Year 1 of the RXFL, Huskies Rhinos. Year 2, Ghost Riders Rhinos, or Bulldogs Rhinos. And here, the Fury and the Rumble, Sacramento and Salt Lake City. Both quarterbacks played extremely well. The difference, as we said, if someone told you Joe Montana was going to complete 86% of his passes for close to 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, you'd think that they were winning the game. The difference was the fumble at the goal line and the fake spike. Think about how big those 2 plays are for Salt Lake City getting here. Derrick Henry rushing for almost 200 yards was the other big difference. Brandon Ayuk had a great game. Jeremy Shockey again coming through with a touchdown. And that is going to do it, guys. We're going to take a brief pause. I'm going to go eat some lunch. I'll be back this afternoon. We're going to do a conference championship breakdown. We're going to do an Ultra Bowl breakdown. And then we are going to stream the Ultra Bowl with you and say goodbye to Madden 25. We'll see you in a couple hours, everyone.